We're so glad you're here with us this Sunday morning, and we'd like you to join us on our very first sing-along song called Love Is My Decision.
All right.
It's a theme for the month of February, so please, yes, stand on up. The words are there on the big screen, and here we go.
It's another gorgeous day, and maybe we'll get a little more rain. Just a little, not a lot. Looking at all the floods everywhere, and had one at my rental house too, so it wasn't very good. So whoever you are, whatever spiritual path you're on, whatever path you're on, you are welcome here. We are a trans-denominational center, and we just simply love you and welcome every single person. Welcome home. My name is Judy Chapman, and I'm one of the assistant ministers here. I am the assistant minister here. I just realized that. I'm the assistant minister here, and we're going to start our service with the Flames of Faith. So we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths come from the one great universal spirit that we call the presence of God. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and the practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path by living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as a path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and the path of peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner, Pam Rock lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here to this sanctuary this morning. It's beautiful the way they honor. Join with me in prayer. So we go within, so that we'll never go without. Without knowing this truth that there is only one life, it is the life of God, and it is our life right now. This energy, this vitality, this first cause to all of creation is the presence of God. I know that each and every one of us have within us all the qualities and all the attributes of this divine essence. For we too are the sacred activity of the beloved. So this morning, I affirm and I decree that all is well, and that each one of us is here today on purpose, awake, alive, and aware that this divine intelligence lives and moves and expresses within each one of us, as each one of us, and it is each one of us. We are the energy. We are the compassion. We are the beloved. So I know this service unfolds perfectly for each and every one of us, and that we listen this morning with our spiritual ears, and we glean all the wisdom that we're able to let in from Dr. Heather's talk this morning, from the beautiful music, from the fellowship after the service. All these things are beautiful spiritual practices. So I place my word that has already been created into the mind of God, into that universal medium, which has always created exactly what I believe. So my heart is full of gratitude. My heart is full of love. My heart is full of thanksgiving for this time together, for this philosophy, for this teaching, and for each and every one of us. So I anchor this prayer in confidence and joy as we say together, and so it is. Amen. And now I invite Patrick Freeman up to the platform to do our declaration and our affirmation.
Reverend Judy. Okay, please join with me in reciting the Declaration of Principles. I believe in God, the one creative intelligence, operating through the universe and operating throughout my entire being, now and always. I believe this perfect spirit operates upon a law of mind and creates my experience exactly according to my belief. I believe this perfect creative intelligence can be used by me and by every other person to produce health, abundance, and love in mind, body, and total life experience. I use it now, and I rejoice in it. And so it is. The affirmation for today. Today, I recognize the power of love within me and within every other person. I remember my magnificence and I celebrate the love that is my divine nature. It is the oldest love story, and I celebrate it now.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, everyone. And please welcome the Jewel Tones Choir. And we have a guest pianist, our wonderful Jules Vogel, filling in at the keyboard with our fabulous band, of course. And his first song is called Love Will Roll the Clouds Away. Maybe no more rain, we'll see. And our soloist is April de Terrive. And at the end, there's a little surprise visit with Mr. Jimmy Van. And please do clap along. You can dance in the aisles if you feel so moved. Here we go.
Clouds away. Love will roll. and thank you, Ed, for that harmonica. My message this morning is all the parts fit. And it comes from, remember I told you last week that Reverend Patty and I just made up these titles, and there's no book. Although I've been using the book, and it is good, but there's no book for all the parts fit. Why we chose that title was very simply this. When you meet someone and you are attracted to them, it seems often that all the parts fit. And that's before you're getting right to those nitty-gritty parts. I'm talking about you just feel right together. I'm talking about that first hug where it's like, oh, this is special. This is something wonderful. Or that first handshake, there was something there more than a regular handshake. Most of us have felt that. Now I want to caution all of us. The 2 times in my life I felt it, I am not in relationship with either of those men. And it's a good thing, because what I wasn't aware of is that all the unconscious intentions are present as well as the conscious ones. And that means that why it felt so good was this likely was exactly the right and perfect person for me to work through the issues in my life of what I wasn't accepting in myself as true, what I wasn't accepting as really there, and mostly it's the things that we stuff down. We'll say, oh, well, that's not very positive, or that's not very spiritual, and so we try to ignore it, and we stuff it down. Then, just to get our own attention, the universe gives us a friend or a relationship, a business partner that has exactly that thing that we've been denying in ourselves. So, all the parts fit. In every single relationship right now, all your parts fit. In all your friendships, in all your business acquaintances, all the parts fit. It's all the perfect expression for you to be in, just as it is all the perfect expression for me to be in. That's the nature of this wonderful life that we live. We live this life that we've been given dominion. We've been given the ability to call forth through our consciousness that which belongs with us, that which belongs together. So, I'll tell you a little story first. So, this young couple got married, and they were so excited. They were madly in love with each other, and a couple of weeks went by after the honeymoon, and the girl called her mother and she said, "Mom, I have to come home. It's just awful." And her mother said, "Honey, what's going on?" She says, "He calls me all these awful names. He says all these awful words to me." And her mother says, "What, you always seemed like such a gentleman. What on earth could he be saying to you that you're so upset? Please, Mom, don't make me say them. Just let me come home." She said, "Well, you've got to give me more of a hint. What's going on so I can help you?" Well, he says things like work and dust and and all of these horrible 4-letter words. I've never heard them before. This girl had been so spoiled by her parents that she didn't have to assume the responsibilities of an adult. Okay. We're not that girl. We're not that girl. All of us know those words, and they're for both people. Okay, so all the parts fit. What can it mean spiritually to us? All the parts fit. There's the book that I've been reading by Kathleen and Gay Hendricks is called attracting genuine love. Attracting genuine love. And I'm going to give you a few of the things that he says to do, practical suggestions, just for living a whole, wholesome life. And one of them is when you write your affirmations, when you decide, this is what I really want. Let's say, is anyone here not able to say yes to the affirmation, I am powerful and effective in what I do? Okay, let's say it together. I am powerful and effective in what I do. Ooh, that's good. Now, here's what you do. Here's the trick. You write that affirmation. I am powerful and effective in what I do. And then you take your non-dominant hand, the one you usually don't write with, and you write that same thing with your non-dominant hand. And likely, if it's the first time you've written with your non-dominant hand, you might find it hard to read. It might be difficult, and the reason why you do it, and according to Gay and Kathleen Hendricks, you write it first twice with your dominant hand, and then twice with your non-dominant hand. And you listen to your body signals, because the body will tell you, do I believe this or not? Is this really true for me? Or is it fake news? Is it fake? Is it what I'm hoping for? Because what happens is the unconscious, the parts of us that we don't know, get communicated through that non-dominant hand. That's a pretty interesting fact. The parts of us that actually could reveal to us what it is that we really believe or deeply believe and have been trying to repress come when and I think it's because we have to concentrate so hard to write with the wrong hand, to write with the non-dominant hand, that is why. Anyway, he gets through all of the things about, do you really want genuine love in your life? And this doesn't necessarily mean intimate love. It means, do you really want genuine love in your life? And that, even asking yourself that, the answer is going to be, you're going to feel it. It is going to be yes for Kathy. And it's going to be yes for most of us consciously. But when we say it after writing it with our non-dominant hand, what is it going to be? And it doesn't matter if the answer is maybe, or no, or not yet, or yes. It's to then pay attention, because the whole body will be giving you the answer. Your whole body will be telling you. So if there's a relaxation in your whole body and a feeling of well-being, it'll be yes. So Wednesday night, Reverend Carla and Dave Friedman did a wonderful talk about he said, she said, which is all about the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and how all of us have all the traits of the other, and it's about acknowledging and nurturing those things that may not be easy or natural for us. What Gay Hendricks says is the first thing, once you've decided you really do want more love in your life, the first thing is to decide to be real. To be real. Which is very similar to Jordan Peterson's don't lie, or at least, do not lie, or at least tell the truth. No, tell the truth, or at least do not lie, is what he said. So it's that be real. So all of us are going through loss today. We lost wonderful youth church director and friend who's been here over 33 years. We lost, or will be losing, our board president. He still will be participating, but not on Sundays, because he's needed with his wife. And we lost our financial mentor. Faith Strong passed away last Sunday morning. I found out last Sunday afternoon. And that's a huge loss for me personally, because I talked with her 6 days a week, not for a long time, for about 10 minutes, and we prayed together. And so part of me, I just need to be real. I need to tell you, I'm very sad about a couple of things. I'm very sad about Faith's loss. I'm very sad for us as a community rebuilding our board and our youth department. On the other hand, I'm very happy for Patty and Fred. And I'm really happy for Faith Strong, because she is now freed of the issues of a body that no longer work for her. And she's been expecting this for several years. She was 96 and a half. She's been expecting this for several years. But does that mean, and we've been expecting Patty would become a senior minister for several years. But does that mean that we don't still experience the sadness? No. We need to experience the sadness. We need to tell the truth. Right now, I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling loss. Because by pretending we don't, what we do is we drive those feelings deep into our unconscious mind, where we can't get to them at all. And what do? They bring forth things. They bring forth things in our lives. They make our lives difficult. See, here's the thing about the science of mind, and you've heard this, Emerson first said it. Who you are is speaking so loudly I can't hear what you're saying. So we're always communicating from that depth, from the whole consciousness, from the whole person. We're always communicating from the truth of us. Even if our words are coming from our conscious minds and we're deciding. Now, I'm not saying that we should spend all of our time wailing and weeping and gnashing our teeth. I'm definitely not saying that. But I am saying, if you and I do not take time, privately or together, to feel our sadness, we'll drive it underground. And it's going to come up as something that we don't want. Who can guess what it usually comes up as? Illness, sickness, ill health, a cold, flu, pneumonia, something, or an accident, a collision, a trip, a fall. It comes up in some way. So, and I know that most of you are not personally, you don't feel personally touched by Faith Strong's passing. We're going to have her memorial service here on the 2nd of March. But I know you're all personally touched by Patty's leaving and by Fred's leaving. Whether you've engaged it with them or not, I know you are. So just take a big breath. And then ask yourself, am I willing to be real? Am I willing to be real? That means, am I willing to tell the truth? One of my favorite quotes of that is from Kid's book. And because I can't remember the quote, no, not Dr. Seuss, the one, the, could be Silverseed, could be Seuss. I'd love to have so many helpers. But it's the one about the skin horse. And the skin horse, yeah, the Velveteen Rabbit.
Oh, the Velveteen
And the
Rabbit.
Velveteen Rabbit
Yes,
wants to be
wonderful.
real.
Yes.
And he's told that in order to be real, you have to love. And you might take so long that all of your hair will be rubbed off. Because of course the skin horse's hair is rubbed off. In other words, you might change. But it will be worth it because you'll be able to feel all your feelings. And you will be able to love and be loved. I love that. Thank you, Diane, for recalling for me. So, take another deep breath. Today I tell the truth. Say that after me. Today I tell the truth. I start with myself.
I start with myself.
And I continue with at least one other person.
And I continue with at least one other person.
And that's it.
And that's it.
You can tell the whole world if you want, if that's going to make you feel free and good and happy, or you can just start with one person. So you're getting it off your chest and out of that subjective mind, which would become the unconscious mind. Okay, so all the parts fit. In class, we were talking about our exes and how if this stuff really works, it means that all of our exes were perfect. Exactly perfect, just the way they were. And some of you have never had an ex, good for you, but many of us have. That all of them were perfect because all of the things that we chose them for, and then all of those unconscious intentions brought us together as surely as anything you can imagine. So all of them were perfect. Okay. What else he says in choosing and creating genuine love is lead with appreciation. Begin with appreciation. And what does that mean? It means start with gratitude. Be grateful. Be grateful for the people that are already in your life. Be grateful for Lisa McClure, who stepped into the position of youth coordinator. Which of course is not youth director, but it is a beginning. Be grateful for that. Be grateful for all the gifts that all of these beloveds have given us. And then lead with gratitude, which means in creating new relationships, new friendships, be grateful. Be grateful for what the person is. Be grateful for the possibilities of friendships with this person. Begin with appreciation. It's easy for us to do that because we know the power of appreciation and gratitude, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, the more we're grateful, the more our lives increase and are blessed and are a blessing. And then he says, practice impeccable integrity. Practice impeccable integrity. And integrity means more than telling the truth. a definition I just learned. It's treating everything with extreme tender care. Integrity. Isn't that a beautiful definition? To be in integrity means that I'm going to be caring in my relationships. So all the parts fit. We can look at other people's love stories and we can think, gosh, they have such a great relationship. All the parts seem to fit. We can look at other people's friendships, think, wow, isn't it great to have such a great circle of friends? All the parts fit. And the truth is that every single one of us has those relationships. But we need to begin where we began last week, reminding ourselves, as Ernest said, I love my neighbor's neighbor. I love my neighbor's neighbor, which he meant I love myself. I love my neighbor's neighbor. And as Jesus proclaimed, the greatest commandment is I love the Lord my God with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, and my neighbor as myself. So, what would it look like? What would it look like if all of us realized all the parts fit? What would it look like is we wouldn't always be smiling, but we would understand that a lack of a smile just meant there was something going on for that person. Just meant that that person was on an inward journey at that moment. And if there was a smile, to return it if possible. One of my greatest teachers was my administrator in the Bonita Church. She was a young woman younger than me, but she took this teaching to heart and she practiced it. And she especially practiced it where it was hard. And she was the one that took the mail to the post office and got stamps and all of those things. And the clerk in the post office was always grumpy, always grumpy. And she shared with me, she said, I'm doing an experiment. I'm going to see how long it takes to get that woman to smile and respond to me. So every single time she'd go in, she'd say, good morning, good to see you this morning. And the woman wouldn't respond or would, anyway. Finally, after about maybe half a dozen visits, not only was the woman smiling before she got up to see her, but she was engaging in the conversation. That's how it works, and it works if you work it. It works if you work it. If we're willing to do the practices, it works. On Friday, I have two very good friends in Reverend Dr. Moira Fox, who's the senior minister at the Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living, and my teacher and mentor, the ever young Reverend Dr. Sue Rubin, who, because she lives in Sherman Oaks or somewhere way up there, whenever it's our time to meet, she wants to meet closer to her than to Moira even, or me. So we met in Hollywood on the Friday afternoon. And of course, even though we met at her time, 1:30, she was late, because that's what she does. But only 5 minutes late that time. So what we always do is we exchange gifts, because our birthdays are close together. I'm in January, Moira's in February, Sue's in March, and that's going to be Sue's 91st birthday, so we have to be tender for her, and then, right? Yes. I mean, she's eternally young and yes, all that stuff. But anyway, when I was coming into this restaurant, it said, closes at 6:30, right on the doorway. So here we are, we met at 1:30, and we always have a long lunch, and we talk, and we catch up, and everything is going on. And then we do a long prayer. And so we were beginning our prayer about 25 after 6. And I had said, I think they close at 6. Oh, no, they don't. They've got a bar. They must be open for dinner. And I was the one that had read it, but my seniors are saying we don't have to be out of here by 6. So we started at 6:25. And the rock music went up louder. The lights, which had dimmed, got brighter. And so I knew this. But how I love these women. Nothing fazed them. Absolutely nothing fazed them. They prayed. I'm sure Moira's prayer was 7 minutes. Mine was 1. And Sue's was about 8. I mean, if they're on a mission to pray for something, that's what they're going to do. And do it, they did. To be that so committed to our spiritual practice, regardless of what other people's needs are. Anyway, when we finally finished and picked up all of our stuff ready to go, the guy that was still there, who is an aspiring actor whose name is Connor, and he's already been in 4 movies, so that's good. So Connor said, sorry, you're going to have to go out the back door because everything else was locked, which did not surprise me, but they were quite taken aback. Anyway, it's always a delightful time to spend with these 2 beloveds. And all of the parts do fit. We're completely different. And we're totally safe with one another to tell the truth, to be real, to ask for what we want, and then to see the spiritual truth in each other. That's the real big thing, to see it, to know it, to hold the highest place possible. And so that's where I'm inviting all of us to come from this morning, to hold each one as being right and perfect wherever they are, and hold that high watch for each one. I'm so grateful for each one of you. I love you so much. And so it is.
And so it is.
Okay, and now we're going to do one of Heather's Lane's prayers. In this holy moment of right now, I remind myself that God is good, and that this beloved one is everywhere present, in its entirety, all-knowing, forever creating out of the impress of our consciousness, bringing into our lives the desires of our heart, known or unknown. And so what I know is that all of the internal parts fit. For each one of us, we're exactly perfect and whole and complete, just the way we are. And just the way we are not. I know for this holy, holy time that we expand our consciousness. We expand our ideas of ourselves. And in so doing, we open our hearts, we open our minds, we make room in our lives for even greater love, for more genuine love, for more genuine caring. What I know is that God is good all the time. And for this, I am very grateful. I know that this is an expression of wealth and well-being. It's an expression of wholeness and perfection. It is an expression of the life of God. So what I know for each one is this week, and I know it for myself first and foremost, I am whole, complete, and perfect. All the parts fit. I know for myself that I am an abundant in all good things, and all the parts fit. I know for myself that I am love's answer to itself, and all the parts fit. And I know that I am the creative expression of that divine mind, and all the parts fit. I'm so very, very grateful for knowing what I know. I know that this principle is evident in my life and the life of each one here, and it's a beautiful thing. And so I simply place this word in the action of law. I release it, I let it go. And please help me by saying with me, and so it is. And now, the Jewel Tones Choir.
This next song is called Love's Way, and it has a beautiful message to it and a beautiful melody. And our soloists at the beginning of this are Kirsten Thomas and Wade Holdridge.
pardon my back, but at least it's pretty to look at. If the stewards would please come forward, it's time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. And just take a moment in appreciation, which will also continue. I guess we're not going to have our, oh, there we are, thank you. Okay, we're going to say our prosperity affirmation together, and then we're going to have a few minutes of silence to appreciate, and then we're going to sing Blessed Always, and then the choir is going to do something. Okay, please join me. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply, and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply.
We have another song we'd like to share with you now, and this will feature Rita and Rick in the middle on some solos, and it's called The Circle of Love.
Beginning and has
beginning and has no end. No
Thank you, that was wonderful. Thank you, Celebrate. And our soloists, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's now time for me to acknowledge those of you who are in service. All of the choir needs to stand because you are volunteers. Anyone else who is a volunteer for this week or today, we're so grateful for you. And then as the others sit down, our practitioners remain standing. Our practitioners are trained in the art and science of affirmative prayer. And if you want your life transformed, you'll make an appointment with one of these fine people, and you'll be so happy you did. Today in service, after the service, on the two tables back there in the Tranquility Room, we have Patrick Freeman, we have Aidan Greeny, and we have Anita Baroldi. Let's acknowledge, and we have Pamela Rock. One of those will not be visible. They'll disappear into being in service out of the foyer. And do we have announcements? Yes, we are. And there are lots. If you're here for the very first time today, would you please stand so we can acknowledge you? It's so great that you're standing. We're going to bring you a gift, but we're also going to say an affirmation for you. So everyone, would you please repeat after me? Welcome to our center.
Welcome to our center.
We know that you're a perfect spiritual being.
We know that you're a perfect spiritual being.
There is nothing to fix.
There is nothing to fix.
You're whole, complete, and perfect, just the way you are.
You are whole, complete, and perfect, just the way you are.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Thank you. There's a gift certificate. If you fill that out sometime and take it to the bookstore, which is through those double doors, and then to the first door to your right, you'll receive another gift. Now, announcements.
Listen up. Conscious Connection meets today right here in the sanctuary from 12 to 12:30. Join the discussion about Heather's talk today. This is facilitated by Mary Brogdon, and childcare is available. Come join us this Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for our Wednesday's Wisdom Service as Dr. Jeannie Hounshell facilitates a sacred healing service. Come out and get your midweek facelift. On Saturday, March 2nd, we are having a celebration of life service for our friend Faith Strong, who later transitioned last week. The service is at 1 p.m. Then on Sunday, March 3rd at noon, my birthday, we are having our annual general membership meeting, which I always love to do on my birthday. This is when we will review 2018 and present our center's vision for 2019. If you're not able to attend, please sign a proxy and give it to the center before the meeting. On Saturday, there's more, March 30th, from 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., our youth and family program is having a visioning to discover what Spirit's highest idea looks like for our center. Parents, volunteers, and anyone interested in volunteering in youth church are encouraged to attend. Please RSVP to Diane Hennessy by Wednesday, March 27th, and include the number of children that will be attending of yours. Diane's email address is on the announcement sheet that you can take home with you. On Monday evenings at 6:30 p.m., Mary Brogdon, again, is leading a book study on the book Judgment Detox by Gabrielle Bernstein. This is provided on a love offering basis, and a sign-up sheet is available on the kiosk. See Mary if you have any questions. On Tuesday evenings at 6:30 p.m., Dr. Heather is teaching the Essential Ernest Holmes class. There is a sign-up sheet on the kiosk And please see Dr. Heather if you have any questions. There is always so much going on here at the center, and I just elucidated it. Please take your inserts home and look them over. Now, let's have the chillins.